Hey, everybody, it's Lisa Asbell. Welcome back. If you are new here, thank you for being here. And if you've been around, you know this week is 5 years, right? This is May of 2025, and I have been sharing how I lost 100 pounds and how I've kept it off all these years on YouTube and my private coaching and group coaching, on podcast, on thousands of social posts all over now. It has been a very exciting journey, and over 1 million lives have been impacted by the information I've shared. We call it the Well Method. There are other videos here that teach it. But today, in our Back to the Basics series, this will be about 10 minutes, and it's going to be fantastic. I hope you're taking notes. We're going to go back to the basics with one of the first lessons I did. I brought in some of my skinny friends. Not people who had lost a bunch of weight, not people who tracked calories or had been on diets or had counted their macros. These are women that never, ever really got overweight. They never just naturally, they don't like feeling full. They don't eat all the time. They eat a little bit of the stuff they like, and then they move on. And if you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, because I drop a new episode every single week. And it's always great new content, and it's lessons I've learned. We call these Lisa Lessons now for 5 years in the Well community. You can go to lisaasbell.com and check it out there, but please follow me here. This is where I'm doing most of my current work for the public. So anyway, all right, so let's move on. Let's move on to lessons I've learned from my skinny friends. Now, I want to qualify this for sure, because there are women that you would meet that you can just visually see, okay, these women obviously exercise, these women obviously eat right, and they have made an effort to be thin and healthy or lean and healthy. There are those women, okay? I'm not talking about those women. I know what they do. They eat small amounts. They eat healthy food, small amounts. I'm talking about the woman who knows nothing about weight loss, who doesn't really even own a scale, who you've got these friends, they're unicorns. There's not very many today, but in the 50s and the 60s and 70s, everybody was this unicorn. And this was a natural eater, a person that really doesn't like feeling too full. They eat what they like, and they don't obsess over carbs and macros and calories and points and all of that. And it's some of the most fascinating work I've done, honestly, in the Well community. And this is a back to the basics, because I haven't talked about it in a while. So I'm going to share it with you here. The first part I'm going to share is the habits that they do, that obese, overweight women that I've worked with, men too. I work with men. I work with teens. I've worked with elderly. I've worked with organizations, okay? It doesn't matter, okay? If you have food noise in your head, if you are overweight or obese, I can help you lose weight, okay? I can help you change your life. There's no doubt about it. There's thousands of people. All right, but the first thing I want to share is what they do that's different. And the second, I want to tell you what I've learned and what it's taught me, and it's all backed by science too, by the way. I am a registered nurse. I've been in healthcare for 40 years. I'm a registered nurse for nearly 30 years, and I can tell you that I did not put any of this stuff into practice, and most of it I didn't know. I did not know. I would say, oh, I know because, I know that Weight Watchers works, or I know that 1,500 calories work. Yes, we all can say that. But what I did not know were all the things around those things that are life-changing. And that's healthy living, well lifestyle. It's what I teach. All right, let's get back to my skinny friends. All right, these are the things that surprised me. Number one, they do not eat if they're not hungry. They don't eat. They don't finish their plate. No pressure to finish what's on their plate. They do have a natural rhythm, maybe, if they eat it, 8 or 9 in the morning or 10 in the morning. They don't roll out of bed eating, I can tell you that. And they might even eat a little pastry or something that, if you are overweight or obese, those aren't your foods. That's why you cannot compare yourself to your skinny friends, okay? But they trust their bodies. Their bodies probably live in a fat-burning mode, so that morning pastry is not going to flip them out of fat burning. If you're overweight, obese, you have stored meals, you can't compare yourself. But if they are not hungry, they don't eat. They don't just eat to eat because it's on the counter. It tastes good. I'm a foodie. They don't do that. They don't clean their plate. They don't see it as wasting. They don't see it as I've wasted food. They don't see it, and they have no attachment to that. They just, I'm stopped eating. There's food on the plate, okay? 3, they enjoy their food without the food noise. They don't have that constant food noise, food drive. I believe it's because they live in fat burn mode and they don't overeat. Okay? I'm going to say that again. They live in fat burn mode and they don't overeat, so therefore they don't have any food noise. All of the injections, the GLP-1 medications, semaglutide, Wegovy, all of that, they're all peptides, okay? The reason they're very, very popular is because they help silence the food noise. You can naturally do this, and it's called not overeating. Even if you eat a pastry, if you are in fat burn mode, you're not going to have the same food noise that if you're an obese or overweight person that consumes too many of these foods all the time and you're in a fat store mode, okay? The food noise goes with fat store. They're married. Oh, boy, that's its own course, isn't it? Number 4, they don't like being full. They do not like the stuff sensation. They never take Tums. They never have indigestion. It is very rare. I have traveled with these women for weeks at a time, for decades. They never travel with Tums. They never ask for a Tums. You never hear them mention indigestion. Never. Never. And the one time that they might say, I overate, and they're miserable. Sometimes, and I'm talking about that's rare, that's a unicorn, but they will notice the feeling in their body. Okay? That's the next one. They notice how they feel in their body. They don't have a scale. They're not weighing every day. They might weigh once in a while, or when they might go to the doctor for a yearly checkup. I'm telling you, I know these women. And some of these women are well into their 60s and 70s now. So I'm not talking about 30-year-olds. I'm talking about women who don't overeat and who don't eat when they're not hungry. Now, without exception, most of those enjoy a couple of Hershey Kisses by their bed at night. Or they might have a few potato chips before they go to bed, or a cup of popcorn. But it isn't a relentless eat from 3 to 9. I have an audio on that. If you are an afternoon, late evening, late night eater, you need to listen to 3 to 9. There's a great audio I did a couple weeks ago. Listen to it here on YouTube. They listen to their body and they don't weigh. So I'm going to go through these 7 again, okay? And then I'm going to talk about how it helped me change my life. And it's helped change millions of other lives too, by the way. Well, at least 1 million, I hope. All right, so they don't eat if they're not hungry. That's number 1. They don't need to clean their plate. That's 2. Number 3, they enjoy the food without the noise because they don't overeat. They wait for hunger. They never overeat because they don't like feeling full. That's number 4. Number 5, they've never counted macros or calories. They don't count it. They've never needed to. They listen to their body, which is number 6. They go by. If they wake up the next morning, their tummy doesn't feel good, they will not eat. They will just naturally wait. They will wait through that first even bout of hunger. They'll wait on a little bit longer because they know their digestion needs some time. They do it naturally. If you wake up and your tummy doesn't feel quite right, that's your sign. Don't eat. Give yourself some time. Oh, man. When you blow it on the weekend, always, my skinny friends, if they overdo a little bit of anything over the weekend, Monday and Tuesday are very, very light eating days. That's how our body works. It's beautiful. Okay, that's why they stay the same weight without ever stepping on the scale year after year. Even though their metabolism's going down, even though they're perimenopausal, postmenopausal, premenopausal, it doesn't matter. They listen to their body, not to their mind, okay? So here's what it taught me. I've spent years studying these women, and it's, me, I do not compare myself, okay? But I am into the science. I am into the behavior. I am into what makes them different. They have some kind of peace with food that's like a unicorn. Maybe they don't have early childhood trauma. Maybe they never got into a bad relationship, or, maybe they never turned to food for comfort. I don't know. But we can unlearn it too. And freedom doesn't come from knowing all the macros or what the scale says. It comes from knowing yourself. And most of us, I realize, aren't raised like that. We're raised to clean your plate. We're raised to eat around the clock. We're raised with 3 meals and snacks, and food is comfort. But I've been watching these women for years. I've been studying. I've been observing. I've been collecting data, real data. We can, and I have, rewired those patterns. We can learn to eat without fear or attachment or judgment or guilt. I know all of these are works. All of these are a process. You don't learn this stuff overnight. And that food doesn't have to be a fight. Food doesn't have to be a fight. There's no reason. But it's learned. This is part of what shaped the Well Method. It's what I teach. There are audios right here about the Well Method. Because when I lost 100 pounds, I learned it just wasn't about eating. It was thinking. It was, if you change your thoughts, you can change your life. And I think in all of my work, I hope you like what you're hearing. Please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. I'd love to hear what resonates with you. I want to know what resonates with you. I have largely built my coaching empire, if you will. It's what it feels like over the past 5 years on listening to what you say and your feedback. But I can tell you from the science and thousands of women I've worked with, you can learn to you can relearn how to eat. You can learn to trust your body again. You can learn that peace with food is possible. Thank you for listening. I hope this helped hit home. If you'd share it with someone who needs to hear it, I'd love it. And remember this, the best plan is the one that you'll do. But you have to love yourself. Give yourself some time to learn and relearn how to eat, to have the healthiest and happiest life ever. I'll see you on the next Lisa lesson.